Hey, y'all!
Hey, Pat.
Listen, you guys. Y'all know y'all hear a different sound now. Woo! Sarita Stevens is here in the house. Sarita.
I can't match your vibe, man.
Sarita, I love it because look, we're 40 years later, and we're dancing to our 1982 music.
That's 40 years out of high school.
Bling Bling is my theme song because I think I'm queen of bling. But today I'm about to drop a bomb on them, and guess what? It's you. Listen, ladies, Chelsea, can you turn that down just a little? Don't turn it off though, because look, Sarita, I usually start with all my formalities, but I don't have time for that. Listen, I gotta read. Look, when I contacted you, I said, Sarita, send me a bio. Sarita ain't sent me nothing. But guess what I did?
You found one?
And I want to read what I found, Sarita, because oh my God, you are brilliant. It's amazing. And you look fabulous, Hunty.
Oh, well, you do too, Pat. I got to catch up with your energy. I need to hang out with you more.
Yes, Sarita, because look, I need you after I read this. Like, where has she been all my life? Go ahead, Sarita. What were you saying?
It's how sometimes you don't have to call people every day, but they're still on tap. Like, we can just get back together and it'll be just like we never had that 20-year gap.
Yes, like yesterday. Look at y'all. Look how fabulous this lady looks. She, you're amazing. But look, I'm getting ready to go into all these formalities. Not the formalities. I got to read about this young lady. So listen, you guys. I always want to share what people are doing and what they've done, their accomplishments. But this lady right here, I got to read it. So let me get started. Okay. This was an article that was written about you for Black History Month. Do you remember that article?
Yeah, I think, that was a Elkhart historian Yes.
So let me read. I'm going to read some of it. I'm going to read the main part that I think the people need to hear. So this is how it starts. It says, when we think about successful African American females, names like Oprah Winfrey, Condoleezza Rice, Michelle Obama, and Kamala Harris, immediately, they come to mind. But today's Black History Month honoree works right here in the Elkhart Community School District, sporting a resume that's just as extensive and impressive as those ladies. And yes, it is. Look, listen. Sarita Stevens grew up in Gary, Indiana, graduating from the Gary Community School Corporation, Westside High School, 1982. Then attending Iowa State University on a full scholarship. Listen, she graduated from Iowa State with a BA in journalism, mass communication. Sarita then attended Purdue University and Indiana State University for her graduate degrees, and they are extensive. She has an MS in Education Curriculum Instruction, a School Administration Certificate, K through 12, Career and Technical Education, Leadership Program, CTE Director's License, and Education Leadership Superintendent's License. Sarita has also earned many, many professional development certifications. Listen, this is where I need you at. Sarita has been an outstanding school administrator with several years experience at the school and district levels of leadership. She has expertise in areas of communications, project management, curriculum and instruction, federal programs, professional development, strategic planning, business community partnership development, budgeting, resource management.
Okay. Okay, Pat. You're gonna make me believe some of those things.
And Sarita presently holds the highest position ever held by an African American female in Elkhart Community Schools. She is the assistant superintendent of student services.
Hmm.
I can't take it. Sarita, who are you?
Well, you know what? I'm about to transition out of that position. So I'm going on to the South Bend schools to be the assistant superintendent of operations and human resources. So, that's just, that's just a part of the journey, the educational journey. But I'm the person that, where we were all raised, together in Gary, where they didn't put limits on us. I always tell people when I'm doing diversity training that the best thing that happened to us is that, we were sort of in a segregated community, but we were educated by some of the best, knowledgeable, confident people that it was. So they didn't they didn't put limitations. At least I didn't experience, limitations. So I'm grateful to be raised in Gary. That was probably the best thing that ever happened to the start of my life.
Oh my God, Sarita,
Mhm.
that is so humble and it's so beautiful and it's so real. And so many lives I know have been changed through your journey. But
Mhm.
can we go back 40 years ago? Let's
Okay.
go back. Graduation. Let's go back to when we were in high school. In high school, you were fabulous and you were awesome then. But did you know education, this would be the journey that you would take? What made you decide this journey?
Well, so leaving school, no, I didn't. I went to school in Iowa. Iowa was a different, it was a majority white community, and so there was, the culture shock of coming from Gary, which is a predominantly black community, to a predominantly white community. And I quickly learned that it was really all about education. It was all about knowledge, picking up the knowledge, using your brain power, and it didn't matter.
What?
Nothing else mattered, right?
Right.
Um, so, I didn't know what I was going to be, but when I got on the bus to go to Iowa, my parents didn't have like a car that would travel, that far on the road. They were very, very sure that they wanted all of us to go to school.
Yes.
I'll never forget this. My dad got on the bus with me and he rode 16 hours to Ames, Iowa. And then he rode 16 hours back. And then he went to his shift at US Steel. And I said then, like, there's no such thing as failure. That like when your parents do something
Yes.
like that for you. And it also set the stage for what I became as a parent.
As a
I
parent.
know that, there's a balance there. Like you have to make sure that you are making sure that your kids are okay while you're going through, all of your journeys. So I guess, going back 40 years, it was, just doing what my parents asked me to do, and try to be what the people who taught us and the people who had all of these dreams for us, what they asked us to be. And God took care of the rest. Very
Yes.
early, I met my soulmate, and I was very, very blessed,
Yes.
to be with people that had the same goals and the same ideas. And
Yeah.
so, although he had to leave a little early, it
Yeah.
it kind of it still is just such a blessing because you see all of the legacy. The
Yeah.
legacy continues,
Yes. It
and that taught
continues.
me that when I move on, you leave the legacy. It's not.
Yes.
That's why you need to do right by people, and you need to do what you can for people and be
Yes.
kind, because all of that is free,
Yes.
and because in the end, your legacy continues in that person.
Don't make me cry, girl.
I'm trying to.
I'm over here all emotional, girl. All emotional. Oh my God, Sarita, that is so beautiful and that is so true. We are here for a purpose.
Right.
And we are here to leave a legacy
Mm-hmm.
and to do what God called us to do, change lives, create
Mm-hmm.
atmospheres of opportunity, and to develop this next generation. And we have done, well, I'm going to say you have done just that, because
We
how
have
many kids have
all
you
of
reached? How many kids have you? Listen, I talked to this young lady, Rose, this morning. When I said your name, she said, Pat, brilliant. She's brilliant. She said she ran that Thea Bowman school. She said you were amazing. And
mm-hmm.
I know Gary misses you. I'm just saying, but we are called to the nation. We're called to the nation. And you
Yeah.
did that.
So I never thought that I would leave Gary. And so, the way that I left Gary, that was also, although, I would have rather stayed there, the way that I left was also good because I connected with this school district that happened to need somebody to revitalize their alternative programs, and it just was a perfect match because you had all of these kids that had kind of gotten off their educational track, and more often it affects Black and Brown. When you're in a diverse community, it most often affects Black and Brown students. And so, there is a high chance that by the fourth grade they can be kind of sent on a pathway of not graduating.
Wow.
And so, in the 4 years, we created a K through 12 alternative program that integrated like things like trauma, brain science, all of those things, so people could better understand why it is necessary to keep kids on track. And I had a selfish reason because I looked at the data and I saw that, this is really affecting African American males, also in Latinx males. And I'm like, we can't do it that way. We have to educate every single child, no matter what we think about their background, no matter what we think about the limitations that we place on them because of our stigmatized thought processes. That's not a thing. There are many diamonds in the rough. You put
Yes.
them on the pathway to get their education, and you create a fair environment for them to do it. So we ended up having 0 expulsions at Elkhart, which people were like, well, if you're not expelling them, you're not punishing them. Yeah, you don't want to punish them out of existence. You want to develop them. If you're punishing, if you're delivering circumstances, then they need to be ones that develop the child to keep moving forward. And so that's, really how I landed in education forever.
Wow.
Jobs in education were fun. I ran the radio and television broadcast department at the career center.
At the career center,
It was
yes.
like it was like fun. I was having fun. I see those kids now, and some of them have grandkids, and I'm like, I'm like the Oprah man said, isn't so. They come up to me and they have grandkids, and that cracks me up. So the next phase is just, I feel like my next phase is to, focus on diversity and inclusion, and create diverse school districts where teachers and students can look alike and can relate to each other, and people can tell their story from their cultural lens, and people will respect and understand that.
Oh my God, Sarita. You know, this article said that it says, where is this at? Says right here that she is a shining example of excellence. And yes, you are.
Thank you,
Yes,
Pastor.
you are. Oh my God. When, like you say, we don't talk often, but we used to see each other in passing, or sometimes you used to come get your hair done. It's your creation.
I miss that too. No, I definitely miss that. Yeah, I
But
definitely.
to see your journey and your vision and your purpose and acting on it, and not saying, I'm going to retire. No, you said, I'm going to change the world. That's what I'm hearing. I'm going to change the world.
Well, I mean, the past few years, we kind of saw the nation kind of slide into a level of incivility where people just were not kind to each other, and then we slid into a pandemic, so which basically, was God's way of separating us all to go and sit down and think for a minute. So, in resurfacing, there are like real simple things that everybody can do to contribute to making a better world. I went to a conference, and I went to a class called "Do This One Thing," or "This One Small Thing," and I'm like, okay, that's going to be soft and good. But when he described that, you know what you can do every day when you contact people, even if you're going through the drive-through or if you're in a restaurant, just smile. Smile at people. Say thank you. Show some respect. Stop, placing yourself on a hierarchy where you're better than thou. Just be nice to people. And he said, and the big deal is that it's 100% free. It is free. Even when someone is being nasty, biblically it says a kind word turns away wrath. A person cannot continue to exist in that if you're insisting on just, keeping the space kind and keeping, and always being very respectful. I'm not saying let someone just shellac you, but I am saying that in most cases, it's amazing how you turn the situation around just by showing the person some kindness.
Some kindness. It boils down to love.
Mm-hmm.
Loving your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Sarita. That is so beautiful. So look, I didn't even have to ask you 1,000 questions because you have given us the journey. You have given us, your past, your present, and your future. So now tell me, you're transitioning into another area of development? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going into school operations, which is like the overall operations of schools, like, transportation, like the buildings and grounds, and then HR, which is human resources. So, it's a whole new challenge. And
you're up for it.
Oh, I'm up for it. I have the framework for diversity and equity inclusion, so I know the framework, and I also, I have the framework for, training, brain sciences, and things like that. So yeah, I'm ready, and it's a bigger school district, and I believe that somewhere in the near future I'll land on a superintendency, and that'll be the end of my K-12 journey. And at that point, maybe I'll still have some energy to do postgraduate, professorship. So I'll just kind of, sometimes you just go along because you trust that God, is fully in control. And from my experiences through the good and the bad, I believe He is.
Yes.
He is. So, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to like seeing my grandkids grow up and walk across, a collegiate stage. My youngest, Jairus, he's 24. He just graduated from undergrad in May. So that, was a level of satisfaction.
Yes.
Seeing them, they were college athletes, and Ariel was just, brilliant in what she did. She went through law school, which is my oldest. But my sons, they paid their way through school, playing basketball. And I was just very proud, that they were, very grounded kids.
Yes, they are. Darius, he used to come up here with you. I remember him. So when he gets big, tell him, don't forget about Pat Hollingsworth.
He is still an old man. He is still a very old soul. So. Yeah, so I thank God for all of those things, because that allowed me, because my kids didn't really give me any trouble, and that allowed me to work, to really get into work where you're helping the generations, because in education that's important work, because those are the people that will be taking care of the world and taking care of you very soon.
That's right, Sarita.
Very soon.
Right. Very soon. You are doing a great job. Is there anything, so do you do any, work on the side, or are you just way too busy? You do?
So I do training in brain science. And very quickly, I can give you what that is. We all have a cognitive brain. We all have a thinking brain. It's the
Mhm.
cognitive brain. We all if you're physically intact, your psychomotor brain is also connected. And psychomotor is the stem of your brain. It allows you to go to sleep, wake up, sneeze, auditory things.
Okay.
Your cognitive is up here. It's your frontal cortex, and most of us are good. It's our affective domain, which is the middle part of our brain, and the emotional part of our brain that every single human being, that is what people challenge. They challenge your affective domain. They will challenge your ability to think for yourself, how you feel about yourself, your confidence. When someone is saying something negative to you constantly, it's your affective domain, which is the emotional brain connected to your heart. And
Mm.
biblically, you know what it says biblically: guard
Yeah.
your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Even the ancients knew that it's not, I can get a thinker that knows everything, but if I get in that emotional brain and scramble them up, it's over. I mean, I can make it a can't, to just say you're in love, you're in love, and you get frustrated. And so you start singing, I'll bust the windows out of his car. Well, that's illegal.
Right.
Busting the window out of somebody's car is illegal. But your emotional brain has taken over your cognitive ability and your physical ability, and it just takes over. So you really, really have to be very aware of the affective domain, which is your emotional brain. It's your limbic system. And I that's what I preach everywhere. That
That's amazing. Now we can see a lot of what's going on in the world.
Mhm. And people, if we don't start addressing the emotional brain, we keep wondering, like, how do you have somebody that is so evil that they shoot up a school, they shoot up children, and then we always race to say, okay, they're mentally ill. Well, some of them are mentally evil. They're beyond mentally ill. It's that affective domain, that emotional brain that is completely disconnected and discombobulated. So that's one of them. The Black people have done a good job with managing their emotional brain because we're church people, and
Yeah.
we go to church and we get grounded in faith.
Yes. Yes.
And faith allows us to follow some direction, keeps
Yes.
us on a good path. But
Yes.
some of us have been that fortunate, and when something bad happens, what do? Self-medicate. We drink, we smoke marijuana, we do things that we know that's going to put our lives on a backwards course.
Right.
So that's what I do, seminars and sessions on that, and
That's amazing.
specifically sessions for Black women, because we deal with a lot of trauma. We deal with a lot of microaggression. Well, people of color deal with a lot
Yeah.
of microaggression. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what I do.
You know what? You have taken me into this whole place and space, but that was so interesting and so good. And now we all Chris Peterson, Carlton Prim, these are Lynette Jeter. Look, y'all, I'm trying to work this whole.
I'm coming to the reunion, so I'm
You
really,
are,
I
Sarita.
am. Yes, I'm coming to the reunion. I was a little slow in sending my paperwork in, just like you asked me, but yeah, I'm gonna enjoy seeing everybody, and
Yes. Oh
mhm.
my, Gregory Gray. I see all these people, Tony, on this live broadcast, just listening to this awesome, mighty woman of God, transforming lives. I love it. I love it. So you're going to start a new career, a new direction in your career starting September.
It actually starts July 1st.
What'd you say? I got 2 weeks and
Yeah,
I'm
it starts. Yeah, that's but in education, once you've operated, in administrative atmospheres, you can. It's there a variety of jobs that you could do.
I love it. I love it. And so, Sarita, how can people get in contact with you just in case they need some sessions? Do you have a website, email address, number, telephone number? How do we contact you?
So the when I do the trauma informed care or the brain science,
Yes.
it's just my email address, which is my name, Sarita A Stevens at Gmail. And then you can contact me on Facebook. I also do, the cultural competency training, which, I give the chronological history of how you can legally create an underclass. So I mean, it's those two. So that usually when I do those sessions, it's in an educational setting, but I'd love to get together with everybody. Working in a salon, Pat, a salon is one of the best places to receive like group sessions or help when
Yes.
you talk through things.
Yes.
People kind of perceive it as being this gossipy place, but it's not. It's a place where people exchange information and
Yes.
exchange advice that's
Yes.
valuable. You can always get the different age groups. The big mama will say, "Now, honey, let me tell you, I have been through all of that." And the fast auntie might like, "Oh no, I'm having the time of my life right now." But you get all those voices, and sometimes you get some really really good advice out of those
Yes.
places. Barbershops the same way.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it, Sarita. You have shared so much information. You listen. We have learned your past. We've heard about your past, your present, and your future, and you have taught us some things here today. And it's amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so thankful that you joined us today. And is there anything? Listen, guys. Hey, Pat Fuller. I'm trying to
Oh,
talk to
hi
you.
Pat. Hi Pat.
Listen, we
Hey
got
everybody. Hey class of '82.
class of 82, Sarita. But listen, before we leave, I just want to thank you for being a part of this podcast. It's amazing to see how greatness lives on. I got to say that. And then you're moving and you moving from one area to the next to transform lives. But listen, because we're celebrating the class of 1982, celebration our 40 fabulous years.
40 years. Like we've been out of school since, yeah, the age of a middle-aged person. That's how long we've been out of school.
Listen, I'm like you. I think my life has just begun. I think I just graduated. That's how I feel, Sarita. I feel so excited because look, I'm starting these brain training classes for the youth because listen, we must reach them wherever we can. Give them hope.
We really need to do that for them so they can understand the emotional hiccups and how that could set you back.
Yes.
You could avoid some of those things if you know how your brain works. You can avoid
Yes. I love it. I love it.
grown
But
people
look,
too, Pat.
I love it.
Because I didn't learn it until after 30. Well, actually after 40, and I'm like, oh God, I wish I knew this.
But you
Wish
know
I knew
what?
this
It's never
10
too
years
late.
ago.
Now you know, and now you're sharing your knowledge to help other people. That's the beautiful thing. You're not keeping it to yourself. So
Mhm.
that's the beautiful thing about it. But look, I gotta call out some names. I'm coming for y'all. Listen,
Okay.
Serena, when I called you or messaged you, immediately you said yes. We're celebrating 40 years. I'm calling these people, they running from me, Sarita, but I'm not having it.
No, don't. Yeah. Come
Don't
on, everybody. Come on.
come
Yeah.
on, because listen, everybody's journey is different. Everybody has something to give to the world.
Hmm.
It's everyone is valuable and it's important. And we just want to talk to you and hear from you. So let me call these people out. Cyrus Judkins, Terrence Wilburn, Daryl Newell, they'll be on the show. Sheila Sherman,
Oh, good.
uh, Latisse, come on, girl. Michelle Deloach, Lynette Jeter, Tracy Hand, I'm looking for you. Vicky Jordan, Camille Stallings, Marcy Kirkland, Dodie Wade, look, Angela Harris. Angela, where you at? I know you watching because Angie follows me all the time. Wait a minute, I got Russell Hayes on here, Daryl Bird, who is awesome massage therapist. Brown and Kuti. Do you hear from any of these classmates?
I don't, and I might understand like when you're on your journey, like when you're on that journey, you're like, you're
So busy,
focused straight
focused.
ahead. But Pat, I would just reach out again and come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Let's talk about how fabulous the class of 1982 is and, how we move forward. We
Yes,
moved forward and we made a difference.
we made a difference. And so let me give a few more people. Shantae Jackson, I know, honey, you have something to give. Janice Franco, Gregory Porter, Josie, Pam Carr. And listen, if I didn't call you, I will be calling you next week. Thank you so much, Sarita. It's been such a blessing. And listen, I know my social media has blown up because when I put your picture, the video out there, I mean, it was just a day. I'm almost at 600 views.
Okay.
Thank you. That means that the people love you. They wanted to hear
that makes me
what you're doing. Yes. Value.
That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good.
Yes. Yep. So listen, I guess I'll see you in New Orleans in August.
I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. I have to tell my new job, like, look, I had this plan. I got to go and see my folks.
I love it. And so listen, Sarita, I'm going to message you. I'm going to email you because there's some things that I need help with. And I know that you are the one that could be a blessing to Sheer Creations Development.
Oh, it's a PR? The PR?
It's a lot.
No, okay. All right.
Okay. And so listen, guys, my producer turned this music on. She said, Pat, you're over your time.
You gotta wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up. Class of 1982, celebrating you. It's 40 years. Fabulous is 40 fabulous years later. And listen, hey, Angelique.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yes, and listen, you got to go on because they're on here, girl. They on here.
I can't see who's on here, but hey, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in August.
Yes. Okay, Sarita. I will
Pat, the only thing that I was worried about, I thought you were going to make me dance. So thank you for not making me dance.
Sarita, I know you can dance, girl. You know what's that?
That was Tina. That was Tina, not me. Like, no, I'm a toe tapper. Like, yeah.
Sarita, you so laid back. You so laid back. I need some of that calming, because I've been up. I'm so excited. I was so excited about today that I got up at 4:00.
Oh wow!
I gotta get ready for this lady because she has.
I was so excited that I couldn't put my eyebrows on right, so I kept messing my eyebrows. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to go on like this.
Girl, you fabulous anyway. Listen, y'all, look at this phone talk we're talking. You fabulous anyway.
Right, so I couldn't get her makeup right, but that's okay.
That's okay. You changing the world, honey.
Yeah.
That's most important.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
Right, thanks, Pat.
Bye-bye. Sarita, don't leave. We got to take a picture. So you stay right there.
Okay. All right.
Okay, see y'all. Listen, I changed the music because it's 1982. I'm going to be playing all that fabulous 1982 music. Sarita, I see you bouncing.
I'm bobbing a little bit.
Bye-bye, you guys.
Everybody later.
This was fabulous.